Is anime getting too popular?
Today's the day I get hard.
It might just be. I actually got into manga as a kid. My brothers and I used to go crazy on some Budokai Tenkaichi and watch Dragon Ball and Naruto growing up. So our mom let us borrow some manga from the library, and I still remember the shivers I got from seeing my goat with a hole blasted through him. But ever since then, I really didn't get into anime or manga until about 2014 when I was in high school. Back then, it was a different time. Me and the lads were not bonding off of watching this shit, and it was seen as a loser thing to do. You tell someone you watch a show called One Punch Man and show them this bald fucker, you are getting bullied on sight. Now go to the present day. If you ain't gooning it to JJK or drooling while watching Demon Slayer, you're an outcast. Anime has exploded in the recent years, and seeing it grow into this massive sweatfest, it's actually kind of insane. Almost every single one of my friends watch anime now, and you can make friends so easily by just mentioning a series name. Throughout this time, I originally saw it as a good thing. I love seeing people get into the same stuff as me and the industry doing better than ever. But the bigger it grew and the more mainstream anime got, it feels like some of that spark got taken away from the connection I used to have. Now, I'm not some anime veteran with 1,000+ series watched under my belt, and I might have started watching it as a kid in like 2008, but I'm not some old head where I say my favorite show is some obscure 80s anime that no one knows about. And I hate the idea of elitist and trying to gatekeep anime so no one else can enjoy the same thing that you enjoy. Maybe we should have gatekept some of this shit. Now, while there are negatives that came from this jump in popularity, no anime fan can deny how many great shows we're getting adapted each and every season. But with more good shows coming out, it means that we get copious amounts of doo-doo shoveled right into our laps, and I know my ass ain't watching any of that. But being a manga and manhwa reader, seeing all these shows be announced and be released as anime has been so exciting. And this is what keeps me coming back to watching shows again. Shows that came out like Solo Leveling, Kaiju Number 8, and recently Dandadan have been such fun watches, and I'm so happy that we get to see these fun series get animated. I thought I was gonna have to wait until I was 40 years old to ever see my boy Okarun on the big screen. Solo Leveling just had its season 1 come out in January of this year, and we're already getting a season 2 next year in January once again. And as an AOT fan that watches since season 1's release, you know how insane that is to see, man. That shit took ages to release. Another thing that affects me in the real world, not this lame cartoon stuff, is anime clothes and it just being accepted in general. Nowadays, you have companies making clean apparel, very subtle clothing related to anime. Wearing anime clothes as a whole has just become a norm, and most people wouldn't think twice about seeing someone in a One Piece shirt. But my god, back then the only clothes to come out for anime fans were made by these big companies, and these motherfuckers made the worst shit ever. Who is rolling up to the function wearing this? The marketability of anime became massive, even collabing with McDonald's, so I can taste Gojo's special sauce. But everywhere you go, you can find anime collectibles, clothes, figurines, blankets, underwear, and whatever this thing is. Back then, I used to collect Funko Pops. You know, the little big head beady-eyed fuckers. I would only buy and collect pops that were from an anime, and I slowly built a collection worth over $1,000. Back then, there really weren't that many anime Funko Pops, other than a few from the big shows like Dragon Ball, AOT, Death Note, and a bit others were releasing as I was collecting. But thank the Lord I sold them all, because holy fucking hell, the amount of anime Funko Pops now from shows that I've watched is an absurd amount. I would be thousands of dollars in debt, and I'd have a garage full of these miserable little bobbleheads. Though I don't really collect them anymore, it's still cool to see more anime Funko Pops being made from a bunch of different series. Now with anime getting bigger, that means manga gets bigger, and that spawns these scum of the earth. Jujutsu Kaisen has become ginormous, and people on Twitter took to their accord to make accounts solely for the purpose of leaking chapters ahead of time. Now, at the end of the day, do I really care for myself? No, not really. I don't really care about spoilers or seeing things before I read them. I just feel bad for the people that can't even open an app without seeing their favorite character dead on screen, or the authors that just get their work shown way in advance before anyone else was supposed to see it. Oh, and now that JJK is over, FBI, is this guy right here. This account right here, lock him up for good. Now, the biggest thing that just doesn't feel right to me is what anime has become. Back then, finding out Avatar: The Last Airbender wasn't technically an anime because it wasn't produced by Japan was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then I'd move on with my life. But now, I have no idea what anime even means anymore. It feels like big companies saw the industry booming and said, F it, everything needs to be made into an anime. Star Wars Visions, Suicide Squad Isekai, Batman is a f***ing samurai. Why the f is Tomb Raider called an anime? Does this shit look like anime to you? And does that say American? What happened to the term anime meaning shit from Japan? It just feels like this industry as a whole is just getting milked down to the bones, where every single thing being made is now being labeled as an anime, so people will talk about it. There's like 110 different anime series on this list from just this season alone. This shit is getting juiced. I miss when anime used to mean something, but now we got motherfuckers calling The Amazing World of Gumball their favorite anime ever made. The last thing I'll say will be a positive thing, because I'm a positive and happy nice fella. We have already gone over how the audience and fans across the world has multiplied like rats in New York to the size that it is now. While it did bring in more of this shit, it has also brought on huge communities of people for all kinds of different series. Most of my close friends watch anime, and whenever we get into deep talks about shows or characters, those conversations just hit different. Even with where we are right now on big boy YouTube, the amount of content and creators on this app covering all anime and manga, it's actually a bit disgusting. It makes me realize that I'm just a sardine in this giant ocean of creators. From that alone, I have made some great friends over doing the same YouTube stuff as them, and I would have never met them without the growth that we have seen today. So to wrap this video up, I don't see anime growing to this magnitude as a bad thing. It mostly just brought in positives. We get more anime adaptations, a bigger community to be a part of, and ways to express our love for certain series. But with bigger communities, there's always the cockroaches that hide in the dark and make us look bad. Like these people. Oh, and those dirty Ava fans. Pew! Honestly, I hope it just keeps getting bigger. I don't really care or pay attention to any of the miserable fan bases that spawn in for each series. I just watch what I want to watch and make videos on stupid ideas like this one. So, hope you enjoyed.